Have now the two candidates. It's now in the hands of Americans' voters. Tonight, Hillary Clinton closed out the Democratic National Convention by accepting the party's nomination.
As she says, the world is watching what happens in this election and urged Americans to join forces to defeat Donald Trump in what she calls the politics of fear.
KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan is live in Philadelphia at this hour with the highlights from the big speech tonight.
And Dave, how do you think it went over with the delegates?
Well, it went over great with the delegates, Lena. This was a really celebration of Hillary Clinton here inside the convention hall. The real question is how does it play outside, and we'll find that out in a couple of days as well. For Hillary Clinton, this was a chance to outline her objectives and priorities for the next 4 years, to urge Bernie Sanders supporters to join the cause, and to draw some sharp differences with Donald Trump.
And so, my friends, it is with humility, determination, and boundless confidence in America's promise that I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
The glass ceiling haven't been broken for sure. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, the first woman to accept a major party presidential nomination, openly appealed to Bernie Sanders' disappointed supporters, whose votes she'll need in November, to join her campaign and fight for the cause.
And to all of your supporters here and around the country, I want you to know, I've heard you. Your cause is our cause. Our country needs your ideas, energy, and passion. That is the only way we can turn our progressive platform into real change for America.
Then she threw down the gauntlet to Republican Donald Trump, quoting one of the most popular and successful Democratic presidents in American history to refute Trump's vision for America.
He's taken the Republican Party a long way, from morning in America to midnight in America. He wants us to fear the future and fear each other. Well, you know, a great Democratic president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, came up with the perfect rebuke to Trump more than 80 years ago during a much more perilous time. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Clinton focused much of her address on the stark differences between her and Trump on some of the most volatile issues in the campaign, like the treatment of Muslims in America and the treatment of undocumented immigrants.
And we'll build a path to citizenship for millions of immigrants who are already contributing to our economy.
She listed some of what her administration's top priorities would be and invited those who share those priorities to sign up.
If you believe the minimum wage should be a living wage and no one working full-time should have to raise their children in poverty, join us. If you believe that every man, woman, and child in America has the right to affordable health care, join us.
And on the volatile issue of gun control and gun safety, Clinton got a big ovation when she declared those goals are not in conflict with Second Amendment rights.
I'm not here to repeal the Second Amendment. I'm not here to take away your guns. I just don't want you to be shot by someone who shouldn't have a gun in the first place.
Now, while Hillary Clinton was speaking, Donald Trump was tweeting. He said the Democrats are running to keep things the same, which Jeff, Lena, I thought was kind of mild, actually, for him.
Yeah, certainly. Dave, do you think the party has succeeded in swaying those Sanders supporters to the Clinton camp?
I think it's still a work in progress, Lena. I mean, we talked to some Sanders people on the floor tonight while the speech was going on, and several of them said, we're up in the air, we're not sure. I said, well, who's it between? And they said Green Party or not voting or voting for Hillary is a possibility. The party believes that over the next few months, remember the election's not until November, those wounds can be healed. And they think they started tonight by having Hillary Clinton outline some of the specific parts of her agenda that really can reconcile, they think, with what Bernie Sanders has been pushing. So they think they're off to a good start. Nobody's claiming the party is ready to join hands and sing Kumbaya yet.
Okay, Dave, thank you so much. Live tonight from the DNC in Philadelphia.